Society.
Well, when I was a little girl, I went to church right from the time I was little, and Sunday school and so on. And when we sat in the service and listened to the sermon and to the Bible verses, I couldn't understand them. They were using King James Version or the Revised Standard Version, and I was just a little girl. And the one phrase that always stuck in my mind was, "Thus spake the prophets." And I thought, does that mean? And in Sunday school, of course, they'd, explain things, but I looked at, well, I had a Revised Standard Bible, but I never really could understand it. I'd get stuck on all of these words, and I didn't know what they meant, and the King James was really hard to figure out. And then I heard that there was going to be a new translation of the Bible that would be easier to read. And I was pretty excited about it, and anyways, it came out. It was called Good News for Modern Man, and our church got a few copies of it, which I borrowed. And in fact, I didn't notice, but my mom's cousins got me this for my confirmation when I was confirmed. But I had already read it at church, and I was so excited because I opened it up and I could read it. And there weren't all those hard words and the verilies and all those kinds of things that as a child never made any sense to me. And not only that, but it had these cute little pictures in it, which really could make you visualize, what things look like. And they were just little line drawings, but, they really helped me picture the Bible in my mind, and I just loved it. I read it from cover to cover. I was so excited. It was the first time I ever really understood the New Testament, but it was only the New Testament, and to me, like, the Old Testament was even harder to understand than the New Testament was. And then I heard that, well, they're going to translate the Old Testament too. And so, I was always checking, has it come out yet? Like, when are they going to release it? And I was really excited. And I remember when the Good News Bible came out, the whole Bible, including the Old Testament. And I was so excited. I went to the Bible store, and I thought, now this is something I'm really going to want. So I had saved up my money, and I bought it in hardcover so that it would last me for a really long time. And of course, I've had it the rest of my life, and again, it had the line drawings in it, and I could just read anywhere, and it had all the headings made sense, and there were maps in it, and the wording, like, it was just so exciting to be able to read the Bible. It was, all the others were English, but I couldn't understand them, but this was English that I could understand as a kid. I didn't have whatever grade I was in. I could read this and I could understand. It was so exciting. And then I remember one time they were talking about the Canadian Bible Society at church, and they had some envelopes at the back. And I picked up this little pamphlet about the Canadian Bible Society, and I knew that they had written the Good News Bible. It was so exciting to me. And I read about, they had this Bible a Month program. They said how they were translating the Bible into all kinds of languages so that everybody could read it and understand it. And I thought that was wonderful. And so they had the Bible a Month Club where I think it was for $3 you could buy a Bible. So every month, well, when I first started, of course, I didn't have a job or anything, but, every month I knew I could buy a Bible for somebody else in a language that they understood. And of course, as I got older and so on, I got more interested in it. And I realized how important it is to be able to read the Bible in your own language that you can understand. Like they call it your heart language. And that's really true, because God speaks to your heart. But he can't speak to you if you can't understand the Bible. So for the Canadian Bible Society to be so busy translating the Bible into hundreds of languages so that everybody in the whole world gets a chance to read it, which of course is the Great Commission, and whether they're reading it or if they're hearing it on tape or Braille Bibles, whatever, the Bible Society does all of that, and it's just a really tremendous thing. And I know from my own personal experience, being able to read the Bible the first time when I could understand it, I've never forgotten that. And so I really thank the Canadian Bible Society for that.